River City Live. At the top of the show, we heard from Dr. Tracy Alloway talking about when the football team you follow, or any team for that matter, isn't performing the way you want them to and how you react. But now she's back with us live and in person to talk New Year's resolutions, and not only setting them, but keeping them, because that's where the real difficulty lies.
This is true. Eden, we all make New Year's resolutions, and if you needed an extra motivation for why you should keep them, a study of almost 500,000 people found that by keeping a healthy New Year's resolution, you are going to reduce your risk of cancer by 1/3. So
Wow.
any healthy behavior, whether it's to exercise more, eat healthier, can actually decrease your risk of cancer. So that's a great motivation to get started.
Can I ask just like a basic question? Is it good to have a New Year's resolution? Or is it something we should think about you should always be changing it around, maybe like a month into the year or 2 months into the year? You know, why this time of year?
I think every so often we just need a kickstart. And
Sure.
sometimes just that mental framework to say, this is the time to set goals, gives us that impetus to actually set a goal and then try to work to stick to it. But the type of goal that we create makes all the difference.
We were talking earlier about setting goals and how people feel like, oh, I failed or whatever. And so it's better to kind of make steps to get your goal, your grand goal, right?
You're exactly right. So the key is to pick a goal that is simple and achievable, something that's concrete. So rather than saying, so one of the big takeaways is instead of saying something from a negative perspective, like I've got to stop smoking, for example, you want to frame it positively. I want to chew gum more, or I want to, adopt something healthy. So instead of framing it negatively, because our brain processes that differently. Whenever you have something negative, your brain kind of gets in that cycle where you kind of ruminate a little bit more on that.
So framing it, that's one good thing to do.
Yes.
And then, so what are some of the other ones? Because I think that, by week 2 of January, most people are done with their New Year's resolutions.
Yes, that's right. So one of the things that I found, exercise is one of the big top New Year's resolutions. And so I had a study of almost 300 people, and I found that what you focus on when you make that commitment to exercise can really be that switch to help you stick with that. And that is to focus on the emotion that you're experiencing when you're exercising and not the outcome. So if your outcome is, I want to look a certain way by summertime, we're less likely to stick to that goal. But if you focus on the emotion, like, wow, I just went for a run, I feel great, or I just went to the gym, I don't feel so stressed, whether it's positive or negative, my studies show that you're more likely to stick with that goal.
What's the reasoning behind that?
It's gratification.
Yeah.
When you focus on the emotion, it's an immediate gratification. You immediately have those endorphins. You feel great.
That's true. You're living in the now.
Exactly.
You just accomplished a goal. You feel better. That makes a lot of sense than waiting 6 months to see a result.
Exactly.
And maybe being reasonable in the amount of days you're going to go to the gym. Like maybe instead of saying, I'm going to go every night after work, maybe say, I'm going to go twice a week. I mean, you might go more, but being reasonable.
I think even just changing that, moving away from the time frame and just saying, if I go to the gym after work, I know I'm going to feel better. I'm going to sleep better. I'm going to feel less stressed after. So not even putting that time frame of I have to go 3 times a week, but just saying, today I will feel great.
And it's interesting, you said sleep better, and sleep is one of the top 3.
Yes.
So obviously that's going to help you really carry out anything in life.
Yes, because what happens is, so I have a hack to come along with that in just a moment, but what happens when we don't get enough sleep, our body produces something called leptin, which changes the entire way we eat. So this goes back to this healthy eating resolution as well. Our body will be more likely to crave carbs, high-fat, sugary, salty foods. So the lack of sleep can propel us to choose foods that are not healthy, already breaking that other New Year's resolution. So my goal isn't to say, hey, get your 10 hours of sleep, but it's to give you a hack called the caffeine nap. And this is how it goes. You drink a cup of coffee and take a power nap of 30 minutes. Because what happens is your body produces a hormone that helps you feel drowsy, and it's called androgen, and that caffeine kind of provides a buffer. So you have your caffeine, you sleep 30 minutes, and then you feel less drowsy. When you wake up, you actually feel refreshed.
I've done that before by mistake. A lot of times when I come home, but a lot of times when I come home, I'm tired and I feel like working out. I'll have a cup of coffee. When I'm done, taking that nap, I could lift the gym, the entire gym. I'm like,
I'm going to try that today.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
I'm going to try that. I don't really have time for a nap, but maybe I'll
30 minutes.
create
30 minutes is all you need.
Create the time.
That's right.